Welcome to Raider Talks. I am your host, Art Navarrete, here alongside Nick Ibarra. And before we get started, hit that subscribe button down below for Raider content all season long. The Raiders defeat the Broncos in a tough, gritty game, Nick, and they got the Chiefs next.
Yeah.
Despite this 0-3 start, if the Raiders beat the Broncos and then next week go and beat the Chiefs, who dominated the Buccaneers, are we Super Bowl contenders?
I think it depends how you win against Chiefs no matter what. Yes, but if you go out there and completely look good, everything just flat out clicks, and it's a convincing win, then oh hell yeah we are. Then it's hey they did their learning, their growth period or whatever. Everything's clicking at the right time. You go into this bye, you regroup, you look at some good things, you look at the bad things, try to fix it, and then like we've been talking about. Now you have a 6-game stretch where they're all winnable, and you can go on a run and do some serious damage. And I think that run provides us a good no matter what, even with or without this Kansas City win. I think the bye is going to be really good for us. You're going to regroup. You're going to do everything right. Then we go on to this 6-game stretch, and I'm not counting us out against Kansas City by all means, but I'm just saying this 6-game stretch of the Texans, Saints, Jags, Colts, Broncos, Seahawks, you can really run the table right there, stack up some wins in a row, and then everybody looks at you as they're getting hot at the right time. They're doing very good, and let's see where this continues, because right after the bye, after that 6-game stretch, it's already December. So you have a good October, November with this stretch. Then you're for reals. You're heating up. You're playing good football going into December, January, where it's really needed the most.
Yeah, this upcoming game, the Raiders-Chiefs. If the Raiders do win, no matter how they win, I think you consider the Raiders, they're in the mix. Like you said, they're 0-3 start. They're learning a little bit. But they got 2 big divisional wins against the Broncos and the Chiefs heading into the bye. They're only going to get better throughout their bye week, learning, studying what happened all those weeks prior, and regroup, and they're feeling good. But if you lose, like you said, you got this stretch where you can still prove yourself to be Super Bowl contenders. So it's not just this game you lose, you're not Super Bowl contenders the rest of the season long. You got this stretch. But if the Raiders do convincingly beat the Chiefs, then the Raiders are really, really in the mix, and they're a top team to mess with in football, I believe.
Oh, yeah, and I think you say, hey, like I said, they went through a gauntlet before the bye. They did their learning growth period or whatever. You come out here, we beat the Broncos, a pretty good win. Defense looked good, offense looked good. Everything seemed to click. Not quite, but everything seemed to click. You have a really good game, and you win in Kansas City on a Monday night. Then you really can't count out this team. And that would be something cool, something special. Because after this 0-3 start, me and you were a little worried about how we were losing these games and how we were looking. You come out, win these 2 divisional games going into this bye, then with this stretch, I think you're looking beyond playoffs for this team.
Yeah, and Chiefs team that absolutely looked dominant against the Buccaneers, came out hungry, looked better than ever than they have all season after losing a tough game against the Colts a week prior. So this team's hungry. This team's ready to go. This Chiefs team, this Raider team just got their first taste of winning, and I think this is going to make for a very interesting matchup.
Yeah, and let's not forget, we beat Kansas City. The leader of the AFC West is going to be at 2 or 3 wins. And that's going to be something great that we're going to actually be in there, because we're 0-3 looking up at everybody with 2 wins, possibly 3 and everything, and it just sets up a big one. And now if we win, this AFC West is back up for grabs, and everybody's excited again.
Yeah, I think. For real, I know we may be getting ahead of ourselves. People are going to say we're talking crazy. Raiders are 0-3. The Raiders beat a struggling Broncos team. Why are you even talking about them beating the Chiefs? But if they do beat the Chiefs, which I have confidence that we're going to compete, but if we do beat the Chiefs, man, I'm really liking what this team is cooking up. Yeah. Because, it's still early. If you would have told me at the beginning of the year, Raiders are going to be 2-3 at the bye, I would say, okay, that's fine. Yeah. Now we got this little stretch where we can really go on a roll. But if you told me the Raiders go 2-3 at the bye, but you beat the Broncos and Chiefs heading into that bye, I'm feeling even better. Yeah. So if we can pull this off, after 0-3 start, kind of dig ourselves out of the hole in the AFC West opponents, then I'm feeling really good, like really, really good. Now I'm feeling that we can be a Super Bowl team again. That confidence I had going into the season.
Yeah, 2-3, and I think 2-3, 2-1 in your division really brings life right back into your season, and in such a way that we needed it. You'll be 2-1 in the division, and you'll be 2-3 going into this bye, and then you'll be in the thick of things, not only in the AFC West, but just in the AFC in general. And playing some really good football. And then with the stretch. I mean, I'm looking at these 6 games, and it's doable. And it's really, really doable. And I know we looked at this 5, and me and you said, man, we're gonna go 5-0. We're gonna go do this. We're gonna go do that. But I really feel like no matter what goes on Monday night, these stretches of 6 teams, they're either struggling, they're either young, or they're really question marks. And these next 7 games are going to be interesting. And after these 7,
we'll kind of know what kind of team we have.
Because then you'll go into December either feeling really good, because then we have a little gauntlet, a little 5-6 game gauntlet to end the season, feeling good, knowing that you can do anything and anything is possible. Or you go in, if you struggle, like, man, these are all must wins now, and it's going to be hard going, winning with, having a must win on playing the Chargers, and then turning around on a Thursday night, heading to LA and go play the Rams, and then going on a Sunday night and then playing Patriots, and then Christmas Eve going to I can keep on going on, but I think you want to avoid the last 6 games being, hey, last 6 games are must win.
Similar to last year.
Yeah, similar to last year, to where you're hey, these 4 wins are must wins. But I think this last 5 or 6, they're really, I want to say, harder because of just where we have to go and what we have to do in those games.
Yeah, we can do a little breakdown right now. We got the Chiefs this upcoming week. We got the bye, and then we got the Texans, the Saints, Jaguars, Colts, Broncos, Seahawks. 6 very winnable games against teams, like you said. The Colts kind of struggling. They did beat the Chiefs, though. Yeah. It's the National Football League. No game is easy, but we have better chances in these ones than the next 6, which are against very competitive teams. Yeah. The Chargers, the defending champion Rams, the Patriots. That's never an easy game against the Patriots. No. I don't care who's on the Patriots team.
Who's quarterbacking, who's doing whatever on a Sunday night.
It's always tough beating them. Pittsburgh, it seems like the Raiders beat them all the time lately. But, again, Mike Tomlin, a very good coach.
That one's on Christmas Eve. It's a primetime game. Everyone's going to be pumped up.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin, a very good coach. And, you never know what they're going to be like. Maybe Kenny Pickett gets going by then, and it's going to be a tough matchup. 49ers, always a tough matchup. Good coach. And then the Chiefs to end the year. Like you said, we don't want to go into those 6 games being like, okay, we got to win 5 out of 6 to make the playoffs.
No, exactly.
Because those are all, those can go any way. And but if we do go on a run in this 6-game stretch, whether we beat the Chiefs or not this upcoming week, we have some wiggle room.
And you're going into the last 6 games very hot. And, you said all the opponents, and I'm looking at a winless Houston team. I'm looking at a very questionable Saints team. I'm looking at a very young Jags team who are playing really well right now. Trevor Lawrence is getting stuff figured out over there, and they're playing really well, but still young. And I know we got to go on the East Coast. Colts, very iffy. They beat Chargers, but then they lose and get their butts whooped the week before and the week after. Yeah. The Chief game or whatever. Broncos, we saw them today. We'll be on Mile High, but Broncos have yet to beat the Las Vegas Raiders. Las Vegas Raiders. And Seattle, very competitive team.
And still no disrespect to the Broncos. Yeah. They can beat us. They're a pretty good football team, good defensively. Just like us, similar to us, they're going to get things probably going offensively progressively during the year.
And late November,
Wilson did have a good game against the Raiders. So that's going to be a tough matchup, in Denver. But that's a very doable game. And then you got the Seahawks, which is going to be
a very questionable, kind of young, and a rebuilding team.
Yeah, and that's tough. That's a tough game. It's a little bit of a tough game too. You're in Seattle.
You can do. I'm gonna say, God forbid, injuries can happen, weird things can happen. But these 6 games are very winnable, and it's nothing to where it's like dang, we got to go play them, or man, we got to go do that. If anything, if you look at anything, you do play back-to-back East Coast time. You got to make that trip twice, or I don't know what their plan is. Maybe staying over there the East Coast for that Saints Jags, but just playing East Coast over there. I know that's not a really big deal, but media and everybody makes that a big deal that Raiders can't play at 10 o'clock Pacific time. But no, I mean, no matter what happens in KC, I would love to win, because then everybody's going to talk about us. But after that, the bye, and you regroup, you come out hot, you come out firing. These 6 games look really good, and then you're sitting at, hopefully you're sitting at around 6, 7, maybe 8 wins, and now we're looking at, all right, now let's go have a hell of a December and go in hot into these playoffs.
Yeah. With the big win against the Broncos, the Raiders do set up this big Chiefs game. And, like I said, Super Bowl contenders if we win this game. And if we dominate in this game, it's like, whoa, this team's for real. The Raiders have one more chance early in the season, in this 5-game stretch that everyone was talking about going into the year, to prove guys like Rich Eisen and the people who supported the Raiders saying they're going to be Super Bowl contenders, to prove them right in a sense going into the bye week. And you could just say Josh McDaniels in this Raider offense. This Raider defense had a little jitters going into those first 3 games, didn't have things fully figured out, but now they got things cooking, and they beat the Chiefs, who own the West for so many years now. And man, this Chiefs game is just going to be huge, and you just got to go in the game knowing if we beat them, we're the Super Bowl contender probably. But if we lose, got a 6-game stretch where we can prove ourselves again, and we still got the bye where we can get some work in.
Let me ask you something. We're sitting here week 5. Chiefs are hot right now, and we have a losing record. Doesn't this kind of feel like that Thursday night one when Alex Smith and them were hot and they were going to steamroll all over us?
Yeah.
And Carr came in and just lit it up, and we won on that 3 untimed down plays. It kind of around the same time too, October, whatever. I think we can go out and shock some people and really flip this division and flip this AFC and maybe even this league.
I was going to say this is the first big game with Josh McDaniels. Prime time game, lights on you. Everyone's watching this game like it's a playoff game with Josh McDaniels. Let's see how Devontae shows up.
Yeah.
DC. How's DC going to show up? He's gotten better every week. And finally, we got the win. He finally got a win under his belt this season. How's he going to look in Kansas City? He struggles. He struggles in Kansas City. How's he going to look? Raiders wearing the all-white. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. I think one of
Max Crosby under the lights is going to be fun to watch.
I think it's going to be really good. And last year, wasn't pretty. Kansas City versus us, it wasn't pretty at all. No. We're out of the game within 5 minutes.
It's a good test for Patrick Graham defense also.
Yeah, and because everybody was. It seemed like, how are you going to slow down the Chiefs? Gunther was better at slowing down the Chiefs than Gus Bradley last year. And, and everybody's like, no, Gus Bradley's going to do this against the Chiefs, do that. Didn't happen. Now it's, Patrick Graham's turn, see what he can do. And, this sets up a really big one. Carr's won at Arrowhead before. It's going to be nothing new. This is the first one, and I know we kind of said the Charger one, it's going to be a big division, whatever, but I think this one's a big one because we win, the division is right there. And if we lose, I know we got the 6 games or whatever, but 1-2 in the division, 1-4 going into the bye doesn't really sound good at all. But this is a big one. Carr versus Mahomes. Can't wait.
This game is not only going to show if this Raider offense is like an elite offense, but it's going to show how good this defense really is. Yeah. A defense that I feel like is getting better every week and is really impressive. I feel like our defense is really impressive. I think we have a chance because just like the offensive side where they are learning new things, same thing with the defense. New defensive coordinator, some new weapons on the defensive side of the ball, and they're only going to get better every week. But are we a championship level defense? We might find out in this Monday night matchup.
Yeah, if we stop them, if we got answers, you don't need an answer for Tyreek Hill no more, which is kind of a good thing. If we got answers from Mahomes and Kelsey, then we're kind of, hopefully we're good, you know what I mean? And, that they've been they've been dominating us for a while now, and it seems like every time Kelsey gets the ball, it's Raider week, and Kelsey loves it, and but no, I mean, slow him down a little bit. Hopefully Perryman, I mean, we'll get in more in the game preview, but hopefully Perryman can come out of concussion protocol. Him and Renfro, we're gonna need everybody for this one. This one's a really big one.
Yeah, gonna be fun, but the answer is yes. The Raiders do beat the Chiefs. I think we are Super Bowl contenders. We both believe that, and we can't wait for this week coming up. We'll see you guys here for our player power rankings, our Raiders player power rankings, along with our game preview for the Raiders versus Chiefs Monday Night Football matchup on ESPN. We'll see you guys next time. Go Raiders.
Go Raiders.